Hello everyone, I'm Darcy Bono, and in this video I'm going to show you how outrageously easy it is to paint a nice warm internal glow. Now just to clarify, we're not going to be doing projected lighting, as in the light source is projecting its light onto another surface, because one, I'm not that good at it, certainly not to the point where I can explain it to other people. Two, it's a little more advanced, and three, there's already an artist who can paint it and explain it far better than I ever could. Check out Juan Sanz or El Miniaturista on either his Instagram, his Patreon page. He has a ton of information on cast or projected lighting, so check him out if you're looking to paint something a little more advanced, but for now we're going to keep this very beginner friendly. So here we have a KITBASH model that I did using primarily the Sisters of the Watch from Age of Sigmar, and for anyone who's interested, I've included the KITBASH components in the video description. For the first step, you're going to want to make sure that your light source is base coated in a bright white. In this case, I used Pro-Acryl Bold Titanium White, though any pure white will work. And because people always ask about substitute colors, do not use Corax white for this. That is an eggshell white. It's basically just a very light gray, and it will not have the same effect. You want a pure snow white when you do this base coat. So once your light source is completely white, we're then going to go in with a yellow glaze. In the case of this lantern, the light source is at the bottom. The flame is at the bottom, so that is going to be the brightest color. We want our color saturation, our yellows and deep oranges, to be towards the top as the surface gets further away from the light source. In order to do this very easily, we're going to use gravity and Lahmian Medium to keep our color saturation where it needs to be. So turn your miniature upside down, then you're going to apply just straight Lahmian Medium to what is now the bottom recess. By applying Lahmian Medium to this part of the surface, it causes any subsequent layers of contrast paints to be drawn to that area in particular instead of spreading into the lighter portions. As soon as you've applied your Lahmian Medium, immediately rinse your brush and then apply Iyaden Yellow Contrast. Just lightly blot it where you've applied your Lahmian Medium, and you'll see it'll start to diffuse out. You can then kind of feather it towards the brightest point, but you still want to keep just the tiniest bit of pale yellow or almost white to show the brightest point of the flame. And should you ever end up oversaturating any portion, you can always immediately rinse your brush and apply just a tiny bit of Lahmian Medium immediately to the area that's oversaturated. That'll cause the paint to diffuse and have the bright underlayer show through more. And I actually already have a YouTube short demonstrating this wipe away technique, but here it is again. This is Frostheart Phoenix over a white base coat, and then as soon as I applied that, I then go in with Lahmian Medium and start to wipe away the center so the white underlayer shows through and creates a bright gradient. So once you've got your yellow glow set up, you're now ready to do some burnt orange recess shading. What we're going to do is the exact same process as before, except we're not going to bring our color as far down as we did with the yellow. So again, exact same process. This is Lahmian Medium, and we're applying it again right here in this recess, making sure not to bring it too far down as we don't want it to mix with our pale yellow. Next, you're going to apply a mixture of Gor Grunta Fur Contrast mixed with Lahmian Medium in an even ratio. Then you're going to just lightly touch your brush to where you put your Lahmian Medium down, and as you can see, it pools evenly in those recesses. Then when you turn your miniature right side up, you'll have a cute little glowing lantern. Now obviously this is very bright. If you want to dull it down a little bit and have a little bit more of a dimmer look to the top, just repeat the previous process where you put the burnt orange over your mid-tone golden yellow, so the top of the lantern will look a little bit darker, but always retain that brighter pale white yellow near the bottom, regardless of how you do it. But in this next step, we're going to add a tiny bit more definition to the top just by adding one final recess shade. So exactly like we've been doing, just apply your Lahmian Medium, push it towards the recesses here, and then we're going to put our darkest flame color, which is Blood Angel's Red mixed with Lahmian Medium in an even ratio. Just apply that only to the recesses. And this is going to look pretty stark from this angle, but when you flip it over the other way, you will not notice it at all. It'll just give a very deep flame color. So as you can see there, the Blood Angel's Red has saturated the recesses. And if you oversaturate again, just rinse your brush and lightly push it around. Lahmian Medium extends the drying time, which means it's workable and won't come up patchy since we've mixed in Lahmian Medium into our Blood Angel's Red. Look, yay, glowing lantern. And one final optional step, just to make it a little more flame shaped, you can add Blood Angel's Red to the recesses again and kind of bring it down a little bit against the frame. So that way it's a little more of a flame shape rather than a perfect gradient over the entire panel. So that is it. That is how you paint an easy internal glow. And while this is used on a lantern in this case, you can use it on virtually any small glowing surface. As you can see here, I used it on the lights of this KITBASH orc truck that the Goth Rocker is standing on. Now the projected lighting that you can see reflected on the surface, that was done with an airbrush, and again, I think needs some work, it's a little too stark, but the actual lights themselves were painted exactly how I just showed you in this video. Same goes for this Apothecary's light. This was actually done with just the yellow and the Gor Grunta Fur, so I didn't actually do an additional recess shade to it, that was just the two basic layers. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and learned something new. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the things, please the algorithm, you know how it goes. And if you would like to support the channel and also treat yourself at the same time, you can go shopping at any of the affiliate links listed in the video description. So, thanks very much for joining me, and until we meet again, happy painting, everyone!